Uh, speaking of Bayern, not an easy day. I mean, going into this one, 2-1 Bayern, get the victory over Gladbach. You're missing Lewandowski. You're missing Thomas Muller. I know on the other side, Gladbach's without Playa, but Gladbach really comes in thinking if we ever had a chance, just given our record with Lewandowski and with Muller, and still being able to put up fights, still getting victories over Bayern, they gotta feel good. Gritty by Bayern. Obviously, man of the match. Who else? Leon Goretzka. But Keenan, give us a synopsis. How did Bayern grind this one out?
Well, the loss of Marcus Thuram early on certainly impacted the game. His pace up top is going to be difficult for most people to deal with. So losing him early, losing Plea, that's a lot of their goals there. But Bayern was content to just sort of play their own game and, expect that eventually what had been working all season would work for this team. And, you capitalize on the play of a goalkeeper who enjoys playing with his feet and a team that's committed to playing out of the back. Early.
Best goalkeeper in the league, right, Stevie?
Yeah. I
mean, in your defense, that's the type of play of the best goalkeeper in the world. I mean, he and Neuer just historically do stuff like that. No.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's two keepers that are going to take risks. They're going to have occasional things like this happen. We saw it earlier in the season with Neuer. He came out and you end up in no man's land, or you make an errant pass like this when you could have played a much simpler pass. Then the pressure gets put back on them. They get the own goal from Benjamin Pavard, who probably should have gone with his weaker left foot to try to clear it on his back leg. But again, he didn't really have an option. He knew that he had a guy behind him. He had to make an attempt on it. It's unfortunate that it ends up in the back of the net, but, then he finds himself at the other end of the field and picks out Mr. Muscles.
Mr. Juiced. I hope the league isn't testing for another testing for COVID, but open up the PEDs right now. Paulie Xerxes, you called this one. I think it was last week when found out Lewandowski was going to be out. You said, Zerk, go ahead, let's see what you got, young boy. That shot, it was tougher than it looked. I mean, he took it the one time. Props to him. You like what you see from Xerxes, Paulie?
Yeah, I think he has a good confidence for his age, and he doesn't. At his age, I mean, guys like him, along with Holland, they don't really have a lot of fear. So he showed some good stuff out there in the first half, and let's see him again possibly at some point this year.
Yeah, and great numbers for him. I mean, I was seeing on Twitter, someone talked about too. You remember the two massive goals that he had, kind of in the midst of the Bayern crisis. That I think, looking back on this season, were very instrumental on eventually Bayern getting back on track. Yeah, love the kid. Not an easy goal. It looks easy, but you've got Ginter right there. And you've got to time that perfectly. Otherwise, Sommer's, tracking back. So, all in all, great performance by Bayern. Stuff of champions,
I will say though, the Gladbach defense definitely they definitely hurt Sommer on that last goal. It just sounded like they were just like standing around and like
absolute ball.
There was no reason for Griff to be that wide open.
Absolute ball watching. I watched it. They literally were like, oh, here it goes. It's like the CJ GTA, like, here it goes. Like, you're just there watching.
Let the ball get all the way through too. I think they all expected it to go out, and they really didn't expect it to be played in. And I mean, you have to know that Goretzka's going to make a run.
And you've got Davies right behind him. If Goretzka's not making that run, you've got Davies there too for this happen. Yeah, I mean, and that's signature Gretzka stuff, right? I mean, storming right down the middle there. Hey, look, early in the game, though, I know we didn't touch on this, but Luca Hernandez as well. Gorgeous run from the big fella there.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, Hernandez? I mean, because now Gretzka's huge. So at first I was like, Leon, of course. Like, why didn't you tuck that away? And I was like, oh, wait, that was Hernandez. I wish that he'd been able to get that one. Not quite, clinical, but hey.
I will also say this too about Gladbach. It just kind of seemed like because I only caught like the second half of the game, but the second half it just seemed like they were just sluggish. They were making passes here and there, but like they never seemed to like test Neuer like at all the second half.
Well, second half, too, like as Keenan said, you're missing Turam. So you're missing Turam and you're missing Playa. Mbola was very active, but you could tell that he was missing, the rest of their attack.
And what's sad, though, is he's got subbed in, then he got subbed out. So you have to think is something wrong with him there, too, because like you don't sub a player, you sub out. And granted, it's different. It's a different time because Term got taken out pretty early in the game. But normally you don't sub a player out that gets subbed in. So that was interesting to see too. But I mean, all props to Bayern for keeping Gladbach in check, though. I mean, they still Gladbach still has weapons like all over that field. So keeping them in check is not an easy job, that's for sure.
No, yeah, some big saves from Bayern. I mean, from Neuer as well. That you take for granted, right? He had a big one on Mbola. I know Mbola should have gotten off the deflection, but it was a tight angle, and Neuer is really big to get that first block there. So all in all, again, big day for Bayern.
Yeah.